What's up, everybody out there on YouTube? Bryce and Michael RC here, and today we're going to be giving you guys another cosplay build. We haven't done a cosplay build in quite a while. We used to do them every single Thursday, and we're going to get back into the habit of that here pretty soon. I said once I finished the Iron Man suit that we would get back into the habit of that. Then we started the Star Wars Stormtrooper build, and I kind of put that on hold for a little bit. So what we're going to be doing here soon is getting right back into the whole cosplay thing and doing a few giveaways and things like that. This helmet right here will be next week's cosplay that we're going to show you guys and show this off. The process videos to this are already on YouTube, so you can go back through my videos and watch the process videos to this. We'll do a final reveal next week and show you guys all that. But today is one that I've been trying to get done for a long time, and I had so much trouble with this. It was going to be kind of like an homage to Captain America. Not only that, but I bought some carbon fiber filament, and I made this out of carbon fiber filament, and I wanted to take it and test the strength of the carbon fiber. But it took an entire roll and then some of filament, and that was just one side of it. It's actually a two-piece print, which I only did the first piece because it took so much filament and decided not to do the back piece. And it was so frustrating. It took me so long to do because the paint wouldn't dry. I mean, I would wait 2-3 days and the paint wouldn't dry fully. And so I had to switch it up from doing a movie realistic cosplay piece to doing a comic book replica cosplay piece instead. And then I went from doing spray paint, switched over to doing airbrush instead. And so there was a lot of mix up, a lot of here between. In fact, this thing sat on my front porch for probably about 2.5-3 weeks, just on the porch, not doing anything, getting rained on and all sorts of stuff because I just didn't want to work on it anymore. I was so frustrated with it. And I made a process video for this. I did. I made an entire process video for this. But after a while of taking the camera out, filming something, and then it being a bust, and then going back and forth, this and that, flip and flop, I just kind of tossed out all the footage and just said, screw it, when I get this done, I'll get it done, and I'll show you guys. So a link is going to be in the description, so you guys can go download this if you want. I'm not sure why the spray paint wouldn't dry. It might have something to do with the carbon fiber filament. I'm not sure. It shouldn't have anything to do with it because I put a filler primer on first, and the paint should have stuck to the filler primer and dried, so I'm not sure why that happened. It might have something to do with the humidity. It might have something to do with the conditions of you know, where I painted it and things like that. I'm not 100% sure, but it's finally complete. It's finally complete. So today we've got the Captain America shield. Link is in the description to this on Thingiverse. It's a completely free file. So this is the Captain America shield. Right here, the comic book replica Captain America shield. And the reason I say comic book replica is we did the red, white, and blue instead of the red, silver, and blue, or the red aluminum color or metal color and blue like they have in the movies itself. That's a really slick looking one, and everybody that's online does the movie version of it. And so really, to be honest with you, I was trying to figure out something different to do. And when the paint wouldn't dry and stuff, it was kind of a happy accident because my son and me kind of went back and forth, and he said, you should do the white, you should do the white, and he kept telling me it needs to be white. And so I went back and I did it, and it looks fantastic. I think this shield actually looks better with the white than it does in the movies, where it has the silverish color to it. So I think personally that in the movies they should have went with the white color. If you look in the movies, there's all sorts of different shields, all sorts of different colors. I went through every single movie so I could, because that's what I typically do when I do cosplay replicas, is I go through the movies and I see the different ones. Sometimes they have different costume people on set and prop people on set, and sometimes I'll give it to this company and that company, and everybody puts their own little stamp on it. And so sometimes it's a little bit different. I've seen in the movie that there's some scenes where you can see the star and it's just a regular star. And then in a lot of scenes where there's a design inside of the star. So that's one thing that's like way different. And then if you get into like the Winter Soldier, how the shield gets a complete paint job, different paint job in the beginning, and then it gets completely beat up towards the end. You got Civil War that has I think it's Civil War that has the Black Panther scratches across it, and all sorts of different things. So you could do all sorts of different replica versions of this when it comes to the movie. And the reason why this one ended up being white and not the movie version is because every time that I got a shiny metal paint, it wouldn't dry. I don't know why it wouldn't dry, but you could like push down and barely push down and your fingerprint would be left in it. I do all sorts. There's a sanding technique that you can do to it where you go in circles and it makes it look like real metal. You have to get a really like a mirror finish type of paint, and then you do like a circular sanding in it, and it looks fantastic. It looks just like metal. And I kept trying that with 3 or 4 different types of mirrored finish metal spray paints, and none of them would dry. And it took days upon days. I would spray it down, it wouldn't dry. I would try the technique, and then I would spray it again, wait 2 or 3 days, and it still wouldn't. So I just kind of gave up on that whole deal. So that kind of erased all the different replicas that I could do from the movies. I debated the Black Panther scratch ones are really cool. There's a lot of people online that have done the Winter Soldier, the one that's it's beat up, and it's got bullet marks and stuff like that in it. But I haven't seen too many people do the comic book one itself. And I didn't, on the back, I didn't put these straps or anything on it. This thing is just going to be a wall mount on the front, so I didn't see any point in doing the back stuff. Plus, I wanted to kind of show you guys how this went together. So when you get it on Thingiverse, it comes in 9 different pieces. So you got the 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here. If you have a smaller printer, you can print it. I don't know if there is any printers that can print something this big, so I think you have to print it in pieces no matter what. I printed this on the Anycubic i3 Mega. It's 100% to scale. And this is how they kind of broke it down. So this one fits perfectly with the Anycubic i3 Mega, which only goes to 211 millimeters. So you can kind of see in here just how some of these, like there was a part here that I had the heat form because it didn't fit together correctly. So there's a little bit of there's a little bit of ripple effect here, and then there's like a little bit of a gap here and stuff like that. So it looks really, really bad from the back, and you can kind of tell just how much work I put into the front when it comes to bondoing and getting it smooth and getting it correct and stuff. But when you flip it over, you can really see how bad it was put together. And there was even this was a failed print here. This bottom one was a failed print. And instead of printing the entire thing again, I just kind of measured it and printed that one little strip and put it in here with glue and stuff. So it kind of went together all wonky. I think the reason being is because whenever you're printing this out, it doesn't give you any specific direction on which ones go where, because this piece right here could literally go up here, or this one could go here. And they look like they should go a specific way, but I think, to be honest with you, this one could go there, this one, you know what I mean? There's different ones that could go in different places. But if you don't get it precise and perfect, because this is a circle, and the print is a perfect circle. And so if you get it off by just a hair, and I did, the first ones were these ones up here, and I think I got one of them off by just a hair. And so I went 1, 2, 3, and then the middle one was next. And then, no, it goes 1, 2, 3, and then it was this one, then this one, and then this one. And by the time I got to this one, you could tell right here is where it was off, and I had to do a little bit of heat forming to get it back on. Well, when I did that, because I heat formed it and kind of pushed it in, when I put these ones on here, these were the last 3, they didn't go on correctly at all. And so it really kind of misshaped it and all sorts of stuff. So I had to do a ton of work to get it shaped correctly on the top. And the bondoing process and all that different stuff, I probably spent a little bit more time on this shield than I spent on a lot of my other cosplay things, because it's you have to get it right. You have to, because if this is off even by a little bit, by a little margin, like there was a part of the star, I think that was kind of off a little bit, and I had to kind of take a Dremel to it and Dremel it out, and then I had to put Bondo in it and reshape it and resand it down in order to get it right, because it stands out. If you get something that's geometrically like a perfect shape or something like that, any tiny little misshape stands out like a sore thumb, and you will see it. Like if I were to point anything out on here that just that is off, you would see it from here on out. Every time you look at this, you would see it. And so what I tried to do is go in here with Bondo and sandpaper, and I really worked at it and worked at it and worked at it until I couldn't see it anymore. You know, so it looks really good. I mean, it's an awesome piece. It's huge, and you can put it, like I have it hung on the wall. It's got a little bit of a lip here, so if you don't want to use it as like a toy or a prop and finish the back part of it, put the straps on it and stuff, it's got that lip right there. So all you have to do I've got a tiny little nail. I just put it in and another nail here on the side to kind of stabilize it. And it just hangs perfectly on the wall. And it looks beautiful. It's just such a huge piece. I think from here on out, because of this piece, see, the 2,000 subscriber giveaway helmet, I was forced into getting an airbrush and really working on my airbrush chops, and I enjoyed it so much that I decided to practice on this helmet. And I'm putting out an airbrush versus spray paint video here soon, where I'm going to show you both of these helmets in that video. So I'm not going to bring it out and do anything now, but my Stormtrooper, my regular Stormtrooper helmet, I did a ton of work on that with an airbrush, and midway through I was like, I should just finish this thing with an airbrush, get it from the porch, bring it in, wet sand it all the way down back to smooth, and then airbrush it. And that's exactly what I did. I brought it back in, airbrushed it. Didn't take very much paint to get full coverage. I was able to take the airbrush. You guys can see that it's a little bit darker around the lines. And what I did is I took black and I went around each line first before taping it up, and then I put each color over the top of that so it has this underlying kind of black weathering to it, so I didn't have to go back in. What I typically did with weathering is you would get black and you'd water it down like crazy, and then you put it on like a wet rag, and then you put it in and wipe it off, and then it just, on the low areas, it puts that black in, and when you wipe it away, it puts a little bit of a black smudge here and there, and it looks really good with weathering. It makes it grimy and things like that. But to me, this looks more professional. The weathering in this looks way more professional. It looks way better. I absolutely love it. And so I think from here on out, this new season of cosplays, I don't know if they're going to be cosplay Thursdays, because Thursdays was pretty rough. I got a lot of stuff going on Thursdays, plus I got to get to bed early and all this different stuff. So I was trying to pack in all this stuff in one day. So we might do like cosplay Saturdays for this next season. But I think everything from here on out is definitely going to be airbrushed, because I absolutely love using the airbrush, and I like it so much more than using paint. And you guys will be able to tell here soon, because I did make a video of airbrush versus paint, the downfalls of using, spray paint compared to all the advantages of using an airbrush. It's awesome. So if you're doing cosplay, you're doing 3D prints and stuff like that, I always say, as a cosplay 3D printer person, my biggest tools is the Dremel. You have to have a Dremel tool. An airbrush is an absolute must now. Have to get an airbrush. I mean, it's an absolute must. And then like Bondo, there's all sorts of stuff, and I'll be making a top 5 things as a 3D printed cosplayer. The things that you need in your arsenal in order to make this stuff perfectly. And I'm surprised that I haven't gotten an airbrush until now. So, because it's just beautiful. And it was so easy to do. It went like that. I did it in one evening. Instead of putting the one color on, waiting 24 hours, putting another color on, waiting 24 hours. If something messed up, you had to sand it all the way down, retape it. 24 hours, it was days upon days upon days. Instead of that, it took me one evening to paint the entire thing, because with acrylic paint, all you have to do is take a hairdryer and dry it, and then you can tape over it with the blue tape, because it's not as sticky, so it won't rip it up. Take the blue tape, put it down over the top of it. It has less PSI, so it doesn't push all that paint out all over the thing, so you use way less tape. And then you paint the next color, and then you hair dry it, and then you use a little bit of tape again, and you can get it done in one evening. The front part of this, you can see this flag and everything. I did all that in one evening too. And all that this would have taken with spray paint, weeks. So, I mean, it's awesome. I should be able to kick out way more. My son's going to be printing on the Creality Ender 3, and I'll be printing on the Anycubic i3 Mega, and he'll be starting his own 3D printing YouTube. And so hopefully we're gonna be kicking out more, and I'm gonna be getting a website here pretty soon, and we'll be putting a lot of this stuff for sale. So if anybody wants one or something like that, you probably won't be able to order it, but I'll be putting a lot of this stuff for sale, because I'm running out of space, and I really want to do a Patreon giveaway. So get on my Patreon. Donate $1, something like that. Once I get about 10 people on Patreon, then I'm gonna actually do a giveaway on Patreon for any of this stuff, because I got plenty of it, and it's so much fun to do. I'm Bryson Michael RC. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This has been the Captain America shield, the cosplay shield. I should probably move this out of the way because my airplane isn't dangling here anymore. I'm actually repainting that with the airbrush as well right now. So hit that subscribe button, add me on Instagram. You get up-to-date pictures on Instagram. As I do stuff, I post pictures of it on Instagram. And you guys can see all this stuff before it ever gets made into a YouTube video. So next week we're going to be doing a 2,000 subscriber giveaway Wookiee Planet helmet. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you guys can see that. And click the bell so you can get instant notifications whenever I put out a new video. I did put out a couple of videos of me doing music with my band not too long ago. But if you see that and you don't really like live music stuff, just remember that I do use this YouTube to put some videos on that I just want on somewhere permanent. So in case any of my other accounts get deleted or anything like that, I still have that video. So some of that stuff is just for me. And then after the Wookiee Planet one, the week after that will be the 4th of July week, and you guys will be seeing the American flag stormtrooper with the flames. That's 100% airbrushed, and I'm pumped about it. And it's an existing one, so it's got a process video to it that you guys can go back and see already. A process video of the build up into the white helmet, and then I'll be putting out a process video showing you guys the entire steps of creating this awesome thing. So I'll see you guys later. Y'all have a good one.